In quality management, we often end up playing defense, right? We wait for problems to arrive at our warehouse and then we inspect them. But what if that's just too late? What if you could stop defects right at the source before they even begin their journey? Well, today we're diving into how SAP S4HANA lets you do exactly that with a proactive approach called source inspection. Okay, picture this. You've been waiting weeks for a huge custom-made shipment. It's a critical part. The truck finally pulls up, the doors swing open, and your heart just sinks. The parts are faulty. Now you're looking at massive transportation costs to send it all back, not to mention the project delays. It's a total logistical nightmare. And that exact scenario is what we're going to call the costly warehouse surprise. Let's break down why this happens in the first place with the traditional process. So, the classical approach is pretty straightforward. You inspect goods after they arrive. The inspection is only triggered when you post the goods receipt. But notice the key detail here. It's completely reactive. By the time you find a problem, the faulty product is already sitting right there in your warehouse. Now, this standard method becomes a huge liability in a couple of critical situations. First, when those transport costs are just sky high. I mean, imagine shipping heavy machinery across an ocean. And second, when it's a unique make-to-order part that you can't just easily replace. In these cases, finding a defect after delivery is an absolute financial and operational disaster. So, how do you avoid this disaster? Well, the solution is to completely shift your mindset. And that brings us to section 2, inspecting at the source, the proactive solution. The concept here is really brilliant in its simplicity. Source inspection just means you perform the quality check at the supplier's location before the goods are even loaded onto the truck. You're basically shifting the entire quality gate from your warehouse directly to theirs. This slide shows the core difference perfectly. I mean, look. On the left, the classical process is triggered by the goods receipt. It happens way late in the game. But look at the right. With source inspection, the trigger is the purchase order itself. The whole inspection is planned to happen before the goods ever leave the supplier. It's all about shifting that trigger point way, way earlier. Now, the real power here is that this isn't some clunky manual process. SAP S4HANA automates the entire timeline. So let's look at exactly how the system orchestrates all this for you. It's pretty slick. Okay, let's walk through this automated flow. It all starts with the purchase order and its expected delivery date. Simple enough. Then, the system goes and checks the quality info record. That's where you store all the quality rules for a specific material and supplier, and it finds the inspection lead time. Then, boom, it automatically creates an inspection lot and calculates the perfect start date by just working backward from the delivery date. The system does all the heavy lifting for you. And this automated scheduling is the real game changer. It means your technician can be on site at the supplier, doing the inspection and recording defects directly in the system, all before that shipment is even approved to leave. You're catching problems at the absolute earliest moment possible. All right, now for all you SAP QM students out there, listen up, because this next part is key. All of this powerful automation really hinges on one single critical setting. Let's zoom in on this game-changing checkbox. Deep inside that quality info record, there is a single indicator that controls the entire follow-up process. If you set it correctly, everything is streamlined. But if you get it wrong, well, you could end up doing double the inspection work. Nobody wants that. And here it is, the critical setting, the source inspection instead of GR inspection indicator. I mean, the name says it all, right? Checking this box tells the system, hey, trust the source inspection, we're good. Do not create another inspection when the goods arrive. Its impact is huge. This table makes it crystal clear. If that box is checked, no new inspection lot gets created when the goods arrive. The system trusts your source inspection. Simple. But if it's not checked, the system generates a second inspection lot on arrival, which forces you to inspect the same stuff twice. So yeah, it's a pretty critical setting to get right. Now, source inspection is incredibly powerful, but look, it's not the right tool for every single situation. It's really crucial to understand the trade-offs involved. So let's weigh the pros against the cons. On the pro side, it's a no-brainer. You avoid those massive transport costs for bad parts. And you make sure your quality standards are met before shipping, which is absolutely vital for those custom make-to-order parts. But there is one major con you have to consider.
Source inspection can't detect any damage that happens during transport. If the truck gets in an accident or a container is handled poorly, you won't know a thing until it shows up at your door.
And this quote from the source material really hammers home the trade-off. By choosing source inspection, the default assumption is this: you do not execute a classical goods receipt inspection. You're gaining that powerful pre-shipment control, but you are also explicitly giving up that final check for in-transit damage. So, this leaves us with the final, critical question you have to ask yourself. Sure, source inspection is a fantastic tool for saving money and guaranteeing quality on custom orders. But for which of your products, maybe it's sensitive electronics or fragile components, is the risk of damage during transport just too high? Is that risk a deal breaker? Deciding where to draw that line is the real key to using this tool effectively.